Showing their humility before God, these 5 women prepare to make a lifetime commitment to Jesus. This is their wedding day. They receive a ring. They have taken on a new name, and now a new beginning, becoming perpetually professed members of their community, the Religious Sisters of Mercy of Alma.
The intention of the sister is always an eternal commitment because of who the person you're vowing to. But the vows themselves are temporary for 3 years and then renewed for 2 years. And so this is the opportunity to vow for life until death. This is a perpetual commitment. So it kind of, in a sense, it's a new beginning, and it's also kind of a seal on the commitment I've already begun.
As these women take vows of poverty, obedience, chastity, and service, what may be surprising is that several of them never thought they would enter religious life. In fact, for some, it was just the opposite.
I was one of those women who was resistant to the call because it wasn't what I had expected for my life. So I was like, Lord, I'll do whatever you want, just not be a nun. I'll do anything but that. But then after, it's kind of a persistent prodding interiorly to really discern. And I just kept hitting a wall. You know, I'm like, this isn't making me happy, this isn't making me happy. And so I think through that process, I really was like, I think I know what you're asking me to do. And it took me a little bit of time to come to grips with it.
Once Sister Mary Patrice knew God was calling her to religious life, she says he led her to the Religious Sisters of Mercy. The community's foundress, Venerable Catherine McCauley, promoted higher education for her sisters so they could use their degrees to live a life of service.
I am currently in my 4th year of medical school at the George Washington University.
Right now I'm studying philosophy, and I'll be studying liturgy.
I'm working on my doctorate in clinical psychology.
I just graduated from medical school at George Washington University in Washington, D.C.
I am majoring right now in theology. I'm studying in Rome.
It's the only community that I know of that really every sister is educated to a terminal degree. And it's all for service to the church. So it's yes, you know, I'm developed more as a person, humanly speaking, but it's all for service. And it's so that we can go into situations and help make them better.
I wear the habit everywhere in the hospital except when I needed to be in like a sterile field. So for example, when I was in surgery, of course I'd wear scrubs and, you know, I'd have the scrub pants and the shirt, and like they were this like shower cap thing. Everyone does to, you know, so the hair's not exposed. And I mean, that's a little different. I think I took some of my classmates off guard because they didn't recognize me at first, but it was kind of fun too. But other than that, you know, it's just been a privilege to be in the habit in my medical school and in the hospitals. I've had so many encounters with physicians and patients that just bring out a different element in the care, just because I am wearing a religious habit, and I've loved that.
While the habit is a source of joy for the sisters, it took their parents some getting used to, along with the new names their daughters were given.
Oh, it was myself I had to deal with, and my daughter was very patient and good to me in that too. So I'm a convert to the faith, and so I just smile at God's little plan and little work here, and that a daughter, my only daughter, would choose this way of life. So he's a very good and a very smart and a very humorous God.
Each parent says it became easy to accept and support their daughter's vocations as they watched the graces pour forth.
It has been the biggest blessing for our daughter, for our family, and my fears evaporated over time. To see your child so engaged with the Lord and happy and beautifully happy and living in a vibrant community, they are the best people I know. And if everyone could experience the joy that we see in their community and in our daughter, it would be a true blessing.
I'm so happy that we can be here to celebrate that, because it's more than a vocation. It's more than, I don't know, it's much more than the average person can really fathom. It's not a job. it's a life, it's a commitment. But it's wonderful to share in that.
Every person receives their vocation in baptism. So that was when I received my vocation, but you have to kind of discover what it is, you know. It's just over time, you know, it doesn't have to be a lightning bolt type of a thing, but I think if I had any advice for anybody who's discerning a vocation, it would be just to keep praying, you know, and keep asking the questions, because it can be kind of frightening to think, you know, do I have a vocation, don't I? But you just have to ask the Lord and like ask Him to open the doors of where He wants you to be, you know, and that's what happened to me.